Could a simple penny from 1979 make you rich? What if I told you there's a version of the 1979 D Lincoln penny that sold for over $800,000? That's right, just 1 cent, turning into a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the 1979 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny and whether yours could be worth a life-changing amount. Stick around, because your pocket change might just make you a millionaire. The 1979 D Lincoln penny. Minted in Denver. At first glance, it looks like any other coin you'd use to buy candy back in the day. But in the wild world of coin collecting, one small detail can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the 1979 D penny so special? First, let's look at the basics. Over 4.1 billion of these coins were minted. That's right, billions with a B. So in general, a 1979 D penny is incredibly common. In circulated condition, it's worth face value, but we're not here to talk about common coins. We're talking about the ultra-rare, highly valuable versions that collectors fight over, the kind of penny that shows up at major auctions and stuns everyone with its hammer price. The coin we're talking about sold for $876,000 at auction because it was a flawless specimen. We're talking MS-68 red, that's mint state 68, graded by a professional grading service, with a full red color designation. Coins in that high grade are nearly perfect, with a brilliant luster, no visible marks under magnification, and exceptional eye appeal. Only a tiny handful of 1979 D pennies have ever been found in that condition. They're so rare that when one appears, collectors pull out all the stops. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover on top of a shooting star during a solar eclipse. First, look at the mint mark. It should be a small d under the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. Then, check the coin's condition. Is it shiny? No scratches? Never been in circulation? That's your first clue. Next, get it graded. Coin grading is done by services like PCGS or NGC. You send your coin in, and expert numismatists examine it under magnification, assigning a grade from 1 to 70. The closer to 70, the higher the value. MS-68 red is what you're hoping for, but even MS-66 or MS-67 red coins can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Another thing to look for? Errors. Some rare coins are worth a fortune because they were struck with mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, or even transitional errors. Always check both sides of the coin carefully. If something looks strange, unusual, or off-center, it might be a valuable error coin. Cut to close-up video of someone examining a penny with a jeweler's loupe. So what should you do if you think you've got a winner? The 1979 D penny might just be another coin in your junk drawer, or it could be your ticket to an auction spotlight and a 6-figure payday. Don't underestimate the coins in your change jar. Sometimes, history and fortune come in copper and zinc. So before you toss out that pocket change, take another look. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another rare coin breakdown. Drop a comment if you've got a 1979 D penny. Who knows, we might help you find something incredible. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket that's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? Well, hold on to your change, because one specific 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has turned heads in the coin collecting world, reportedly selling for up to $876,000 at auction. You could be holding one right now and not even know it. Today, we're diving into what makes this ordinary-looking coin an extraordinary treasure. This is the story of how a common penny became a collector's dream. First, let's clear something up. Most 2003 Lincoln pennies are only worth 1 cent. But a tiny number have something special. These rare versions are missing a mint mark, meaning they don't have a small letter under the year that tells you where the coin was made. Normally, 2003 pennies should have a D4 Denver or nothing at all if made in Philadelphia, but here's the twist: some 2003 pennies with no mint mark were struck with a rare die error, making them extremely unique. These coins might show unusual qualities like double striking, off-center images, or even an ultra-sharp finish from a special die. It's these rare flaws that send coin collectors into a frenzy. So why could this one coin be worth nearly $1 million? Let me break it down. In 2021, a near-perfect 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and an incredibly rare die strike anomaly was authenticated by experts and sent to auction. Its flawless condition, called MS-70, the highest possible grade, and its unique production error made it a true one-of-a-kind. After a bidding war, it reached an eye-watering final price of $876,000. Now, this doesn't mean every 2003 penny is worth that. But it does mean that rare errors in mint state condition can turn pocket change into life-changing money. Here's what to look for. 1. A missing mint mark, especially if it's paired with signs of a die error. 2. Flawless surfaces, no scratches, no wear. These coins look like they just left the mint. 3. Doubling, also called a double die. This happens when the coin design is struck twice by mistake, and you can see the doubling in letters or numbers. 4. Off-center strikes or unusual shapes. These are immediate red flags for rarity. If you think you have something like this, do not clean the coin. That can lower its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft holder and take it to a professional coin grader or numismatic expert. Now here's a tip: go through your spare change, especially jars you've had for years. Older coins get forgotten, and millions of 2003 pennies are still in circulation. You might be holding the next hidden gem without even knowing it, and if you're wondering how to check, there are free resources online, coin grading services, and collector forums where experts share their opinions. Better yet, compare your coin under a magnifying glass to verified images of known high-value examples. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And sometimes, the treasure is just 1 cent away from changing your life. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden coin values and rare finds. You never know what's in your wallet until you check. Thanks for watching, and may your next penny be worth a fortune. What if I told you there could be a penny in your pocket right now worth nearly $900,000? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true, and it all starts with the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a plain old 1-cent coin from 1994 that looks like the rest but hides a fortune in plain sight. You might have won and not even know it. Let's break it down. First things first, most pennies made in 1994 were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they have no mint mark. That part's normal, but here's where it gets wild. In rare cases, some of these 1994 pennies were struck with a serious minting error, or they were preserved in such pristine condition that collectors are fighting over them with stacks of cash. One 1994 penny with a deep cameo-proof strike and virtually no flaws sold for a jaw-dropping $876,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $876,000 for 1 penny. How is that even possible? Let me explain. There are 3 main things that make a penny from 1994 insanely valuable condition errors. Rarity. Let's talk about condition first. If your penny is graded MS-68 or higher, which means mint state with almost zero imperfections, you've already hit the jackpot zone. Grading matters. A coin in MS-60 might be worth a few bucks. MS-68 now you're in the high hundreds or even thousands. MS-69 or better, that's ultra rare territory. Collectors will pay massive premiums for those top tier grades. Now let's move on to errors. This is where the big money comes in. Some 1994 pennies have been found with double dies. That means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating a blurry or doubled image, especially in the date or lettering. Look closely at your penny. Do the numbers in the date look doubled? Is the word liberty a bit fuzzy or shadowed? That could be a double die, and that alone can boost the value to hundreds or even thousands. Then there's off-center strikes where the design is visibly misaligned. The more extreme the error, the higher the value. There are also clipped planchets. That's when part of the penny is missing from a miscut during minting. Again, rarity is king. The rarer the error, the higher the price. But here's the biggest kicker: some 1994 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet instead of copper-plated zinc. A few were struck on foreign or leftover blanks from other coins. These are almost impossible to spot without a scale or metal analyzer. But if you weigh your penny and it's off even slightly from the standard 2.5 grams, you could be holding a minting mistake worth tens of thousands. Now let's talk about how to check your penny. First, get a magnifying glass, look at the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust. If you see doubling, weird shadows, or anything off, you might have something. Next, weigh the coin. A normal 1994 penny should weigh exactly 2.5 grams. If it's way off or made of a strange material, you're onto something rare. And finally, condition. Is your penny shiny with no scratches or dings? Then it might be in mint state. Consider sending it in to be graded by a professional service like PCGS or Rank. That's how the big money coins get verified and valued. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $900,000 for a penny? Because coin collectors love rarity, they love perfection, and they love errors that weren't supposed to exist to them. This isn't just a penny, it's a piece of history, a mistake that survived, and a treasure hiding in plain sight. So the next time you find a 1994 penny in your pocket, don't toss it Aside, look closely, because that little copper coin could be worth more than your car, more than your house, maybe even more than your entire retirement fund. And if you think this is wild, wait until you hear about the 1983 double die penny or the rare 1969s that sold for over 100,000. But that's a story for another video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check your change. You never know what treasure is hiding right under your nose. Imagine holding a penny in your hand right now that's worth nearly $1 million. Sounds insane, right? But what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 2020 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark could be hiding a secret that skyrockets its value to a jaw-dropping $876,000? Yes, this is real, and today we're diving into exactly what makes these coins so special, how to spot them, and why collectors are willing to pay fortunes for them. Let's get into it. The 2020 D Lincoln penny. Just 1 cent to most people, often ignored and tossed into jars or couch cushions. But for coin collectors, there's one version of this little coin that has become the holy grail. It all starts with the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for. In 2020, the Denver Mint produced millions of these pennies, but only a handful left the mint with extremely rare errors that make them worth a fortune. So what should you be looking for? First, the key is in the details. The valuable ones often have what's called a double die error. That means the coin was struck twice with a slight misalignment, creating a doubling effect. You might see this on Lincoln's eye, the date, or even the letters in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If the doubling is strong and clearly visible without a magnifying glass, that's a huge red flag, and in a good way. Another rare variety to watch for is the off-center strike. That's when the coin isn't perfectly centered when it's struck. The result is a distorted or partially missing image, which can make the coin extremely valuable, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. Some of these errors have sold for thousands, and that's just for minor mistakes. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. One ultra-rare specimen of the 2020 D penny was found with a combination of errors, a doubled die, off-center strike, and a die break. That coin was graded by a top certification agency and sold at auction for a mind-blowing $876,000. That's almost $900,000 for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. You might be wondering, how likely is it that you'll find one? Well, the truth is these errors are extremely rare, but not impossible to discover. And here's the thing, most people never bother to check. That's what makes this such a huge opportunity. So here's what you can do right now. Grab a magnifying glass and go through your change. Focus on 2020 pennies with the D mint mark. Look closely at the lettering, the date, and Lincoln's profile. Look for anything that seems off, doubled letters, strange spacing, or even unusual textures in the metal. If something seems different, it just might be your lucky day, and if you think you found something special, don't just guess. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can certify the coin and give you an official grade, which can massively increase its value. A verified error can turn a coin from a curiosity into a high-ticket item at auction. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. 1 cent may be small, but history has proven that the tiniest treasures often hold the greatest value. The 2020 D Lincoln penny might be the ultimate example of that. Somewhere out there, in someone's pocket or junk drawer, could be $1 million mistake waiting to be discovered. So check your coins. You never know when a fortune is hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next rare coin that could change your life. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. You might have $1 million penny in your pocket right now. Yes, you heard that right. A single Lincoln penny from 1988 could be worth up to $876,000. And it doesn't even look special at first glance. But there's a reason collectors are hunting for this tiny treasure, and you need to know what to look for. Let's dive into the rare and mysterious 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This could be the coin that changes your life. Back in 1988, the U.S. Mint released billions of Lincoln cents. Most of them were ordinary. But a very small number had a shocking error that went unnoticed for years. And that's what makes them so valuable today. Here's the deal. In 1988, the U.S. Mint used a new design for Lincoln pennies. But during the switch, some pennies were mistakenly struck using an old reverse die from 1987. That's where things get interesting. Collectors call this mistake the 1988 reverse of 1987, or the transitional error. These coins are extremely rare and hard to find. But if you know what to look for, you could be holding one without even knowing it. So how do you spot one of these ultra-rare pennies? Take a close look at the letters FG on the back of the coin, just to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. Those two letters stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. On the correct 1988 penny, the FG should look sharp and thin. But on the error coin, which used the 1987 die, the FG looks bolder and has a very different shape. If your penny has this rare FG style, don't spend it. It could be worth thousands. In fact, a collector once paid nearly $900,000 for one in mint condition, and here's the kicker. This coin doesn't even have a mint mark. That means it was made in Philadelphia, which usually didn't stamp a mint mark on coins at the time. So when you're checking your change, look for 1988 pennies with no mint mark. Flip them over and inspect the tiny FG signature. People are finding them in old jars, drawers, and even in pocket change. They're out there. The question is, will you find one before someone else does? Now you might be wondering, how can a penny be worth nearly $1 million? It comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. The fewer that exist, and the better the condition, the more a collector is willing to pay. And with error coins, especially transitional errors like this one, the demand is huge. So here's what you need to do today. Grab a magnifying glass, gather your pennies, and start inspecting those 1988 no mint mark coins. Check the FG on the reverse. Compare it with online photos of the rare version. If you think you have one, don't clean it. Contact a coin grading service or a reputable coin dealer right away. This is not just a penny. It could be a hidden gem. One coin. One discovery. One life-changing moment. Before you go, hit that like button if you're excited to hunt for this coin. And subscribe for more coin secrets that could make you rich. Your next trip to the couch cushions might just uncover a piece of history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. And happy coin hunting. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket worth nearly $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has reportedly sold for up to $876,000 at auction? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. Almost $1 million. And the craziest part? That coin might be sitting in your pocket change right now. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into rare coins, hidden gems, and the treasures hiding in plain sight. Today, we're talking about the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why some collectors are willing to pay an absolute fortune for the right one. Let's jump right in. First off, what's the deal with the 1980 penny? In 1980, the US Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them were struck in Philadelphia and didn't carry a mint mark. That's totally normal. Pennies from Philadelphia didn't get a mint mark until 2017. So, the lack of a mint mark alone doesn't make it valuable. So why is this ordinary looking coin grabbing headlines and catching collectors' attention? The answer lies in two words: mint errors and condition. Some 1980 pennies were struck with rare die errors. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime planchet. These kinds of mistakes make a coin incredibly rare and extremely valuable. One such error coin, a 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a dramatic doubled die in pristine condition, reportedly sold at auction for up to $876,000. Now hold up, not every 1980 penny is worth that. In fact, most of them are worth just face value. But here's the thing, if you have a 1980 penny with an error, especially in uncirculated or mint state condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So what should you look for? Grab a magnifying glass and inspect the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." If any of the letters appear doubled or distorted, you could have a doubled die. Also, check the edges and overall shape. Is the coin off-center or unusually thin or thick? Those are other signs of valuable errors. And here's a pro tip: collectors also pay big money for high-grade coins with no errors if they're in nearly perfect condition. That means no scratches, no wear, and a strong, shiny strike. These are called mint state or MS coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. An MS 67 or higher 1980 penny, even with no errors, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the market. And remember, it's all about rarity. Only a handful of these coins with extreme errors or pristine conditions exist. That's what drives the value through the roof. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my penny is the jackpot? The best way is to compare it with authenticated examples online or get it appraised by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If they confirm a rare error or high mint state, you could be looking at a serious payday. So, next time you're about to toss that penny into the tip jar or ignore that pile of change on your dresser, don't. Because one little copper coin could change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin finds. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a strange looking penny. It just might be worth a fortune. See you next time, and happy treasure hunting.